Do the Auburn Tigers have a transfer portal problem?
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Happy Charlie Tuesday to all who celebrate. We're joined by Auburn message board legend Charlie 5 himself and the host of his new show, the Top Button Podcast. Charlie 5, we're going to talk about some of the news that happened yesterday. Rivaldo Fairweather's back. Keionte Scott changing positions technically, and we'll also discuss early signing day. But first thing, I want to lead with this because we disagree, and I think it'll be an interesting conversation. And once we figured out we disagreed, we quit talking about it so we could save it for this show. But I think I think it's time to at least ask the question here, Charlie 5.
Mm-hmm.
Does Auburn have a transfer portal problem regarding the offensive line? And just point blank, let's start off. I ask you that question. Does this problem exist?
As far as I'm going to say no, the answer is no. Okay. Because we don't know, there's no way to see in the future and know how we finish up. Sure. And then B, the problem is that the weird thing and why we're not getting guys is because I don't know if it's necessarily a problem that we have a value that we want to pay for an offensive lineman, and then there's schools that are a little bit more desperate or have less, I guess, a little bit more excess budget that they can spend on these guys, and they're getting to them before they're able to visit us. I don't know, but here's the thing. I don't know that that's not something that can just be recalibrated after signing day is over and you got everybody that you got everybody that sign and you know where money's going, and then you can kind of regroup, and then because there's going to be more players. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, there's no way that Pritchett doesn't go back in the portal. Like, just go ahead and there's no way that doesn't happen. I mean,
give us a quick summary of who Pritchett is so people know.
Yeah, that is the offensive tackle from Alabama. I think it's Elijah Pritchett that went into the portal from Columbus, Georgia. He's a redshirt freshman this year, 5-star tackle, and he goes into the portal. And then the thing is, he was their backup. He was their backup tackle right before the playoffs. So I don't know if whoever was tampering with him or whatever pressured him to get in. I'm not sure how that whole. I don't even say it was Auburn, but whoever. I don't really know why he went in before the playoffs as the backup. But like, there's no way. Like, Nick Saban's not going to keep a kid that goes into the portal like that at such a important time and then goes back in. So like, I think guys like that's going to still be on the board. People after their bowl game. I think the deal is maybe we weren't necessarily. There were some things that we weren't expecting. So can you call that a problem? Maybe you should be able to forecast where these guys would be, and maybe you should be better prepared. But I think we got kind of caught by surprise. There were some guys that we probably would have taken. I think we would have taken Vinny Scurry from Toledo probably if he doesn't commit to Texas Tech before his visit. I think we probably would have taken the Carmona kid from San Jose State if he didn't go to Arkansas. And then here's another thing. Last thing, and I'll stop here. I'm going on like a monologue. But last thing. I've already seen one offensive line portal flip, and that was one guy we were after. Bedford from Indiana just flipped from Colorado to Oregon. There is nothing. There's videos of Carmona signing a paper. That paper is only binding to Arkansas. It's not binding to him. He can go wherever he wants. So like, you can still, once you like I said, once everybody's signed, you can kind of recalibrate. You can go say, okay, look, we know what his number is, and we're comfortable going there now. Like that's the kind of things that you can do. I think you're on the precipice of a historic class, and you have value. You had numbers that you had value for these guys, and they're a little bit higher than what you're looking at. So possibly you could call that a projection problem, a forecasting problem, but I don't think it's anything that is malignant.
Yeah. And there's a trend, and you touched on a lot of these. Keionte Scott visited, ended up going to Ole Miss. Mac Pounders visited, ended up going to Mississippi State. Carmona, as you mentioned, he was about to visit, goes to Arkansas. Vinny Scurry was about to visit, goes to Texas Tech. And then, you mentioned Bedford hopping all over the place. It's just interesting. And look, I'm fine with the Jerquan Scott. Like it sounded like he wasn't a take. Like that sounds legitimate. But all these guys weren't. Like you don't host this many dudes to not want them, or try to host this many dudes without wanting them.
I think the term take is not so much as we're not sure they're good enough. It's we're not sure they're good enough for the value that they're asking for. I think is what's happening.
And there's only so much information we can know with
exactly
that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think you got guys that are coming in with really high really high demands, really high numbers, and we just don't value them at those numbers currently. Sure. So, I mean, again, is it a forecasting or budgeting problem? Possibly. I don't know. How do you bounce back after this dust is cleared on signing day, and what happens from there? I think will be the judge of do we have a problem or not?
Yeah. Yeah, because if Auburn does go out and end up getting a guy like Pritchett that you mentioned earlier from Alabama, it is a success. And you say, okay, forget about all these other guys. This ended up being better than all of them. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan. I also think Auburn has a little bit of flexibility here because, like, the worst case is you keep Dylan Wade at left tackle. And he was fine. He was fine. And you got to think another year in the system, he'll get even a little bit better. And I think you feel okay about the interior. We'll see. But still, they're going to end up getting somebody via the portal. But the fact that, like, the worst case is they're like, we're fine with Dylan Wade. We're not going to overspend and we're going to use this money accordingly. So I'm with you. I do think, though, I do think Auburn probably should have pushed more for one of these tackles that they missed out on. And we'll see exactly how this ends up because, like you said, you're correct. If they go out and get a Pritchett, I am totally okay with that. And maybe they're privy to more information than we are, both as far as what these kids are asking for financially. And, they probably have a better idea of who's going to enter the portal. There's going to be a lot of bowl games in the next week. And once that happens, you're going to see a bunch of guys enter the portal.
Yeah. So let's play a example. What if you just jump out and you take Mac Pounders, which I think if we really pushed, we could have got Mac Pounders. You go ahead and take Mac Pounders and you take, I don't know, Scurry or Bedford, one of those guys. Okay. You've got your outside guy, and you possibly overpaid a little bit than what that value's worth.
Sure.
And then after, you do that, you get a guy like Pritchett that goes into the portal, or another one of Georgia's 5 stars that are sitting in line, or a guy that you may have finished second or third for in recruiting that's better players. Like it's a game. It is a game.
You take all of them.
Well, if there was infinite money, take every single one of them. But there's not. And when you're big game hunting like we are in recruiting, you have to be diligent with how how the dollars and the time are spent. So again, let's see how it plays out. I'm not necessarily crazy worried. I think, outside of offensive line, we're probably about to have some big portal commitments from P5 guys pop. And then, once, like I said, once the dust settles, I think we're going to recalibrate and get after it.
I'm with you. I think it's going to end up being okay. But so far, it's like I don't love how it's been handled. And Hugh Freeze talked about that too. And we don't know what specifically he was referring to when he said that he doesn't think he's handled the portal perfectly. I'm paraphrasing what he said here. But he didn't say like, I wish I would have handled the offensive line better. He didn't say that. But he did say that he wishes he handled the portal better. We don't fully know what that means.
What does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, real quick before we go to a break, really quick. If you remember last year, I feel like kids are moving faster this year. They're moving a lot fast. Several guys are moving a lot faster when they go into the portal, because we had dudes that went into the portal that didn't commit for months. You know what I mean? Like Dylan Wade was in the portal for a long time, made a bunch of visits. Gunnar Britton, several guys.
We didn't get until towards like the second half of December for sure.
Yeah, we got Wade on Christmas Eve, and I think you got Britton shortly after, somewhere around like early first week of January. So it's just it's just everything's kind of moving different. And maybe we were forecasting something different, but there's plenty of time to get situated.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. All right. There was some news regarding Rivaldo Fairweather returning, and also how does Keionte Scott's position change impact the depth chart? We discuss in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at eBay Motors. eBay Motors is the best place to buy parts for your car, truck, or SUV. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle leveled up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, be sure to check out eBay Motors. And with their eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit, or you'll get your money back. With all the parts you need and the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. And look, you can just buy used car parts for your loved ones for Christmas. Charlie Five's woken up to just being given a headlamp. Nothing fired him up more. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Charlie Five, our guest, he is the Auburn message board legend. We got news yesterday as local media was talking to some of the players that Auburn made available to them. One of them was Rivaldo Fairweather. We all assumed he was coming back, but we heard it from his mouth directly. He is planning to return in 2024. He said there's still some food left on the table, unfinished business. And unfinished business seems to be kind of the theme of all these guys coming back. That was a big part of what Keionte Scott and Eugene Asante said as well. But you know, we expected this, but it's always good. It's always good to get confirmation that your leading receiver, both in total catches a year ago, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yardage, is all coming back. That's huge when you look at Rivaldo Fairweather.
I don't know that I've ever heard left food on the table. I mean, leave a little meat on the bone. I like that, but I'm just glad to have him back. I don't care what kind of expression.
Which player on Auburn's roster is most likely to leave food on the table? Say it.
Tate Johnson, finish your plate, bro. Eat the wings.
Eat the wings, Tate.
Eat them. Finish the bone. Get it all gone. Anyway, Rivaldo, you know my affection for him. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back.
Can you talk about how exactly Rivaldo Fairweather makes you feel?
If I'm being honest, no, I can't. I can't talk about it out loud because this is a family show. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I appreciate
that.
I appreciate
when Rivaldo goes up and catches that fade, like, don't be in the same room with me. Like, furniture gets moved. I get excited. So I'm so excited to have him back. Again, another year in the system, another year. Yeah. You got a bunch of all-star freshmen coming in, but like the most, I guess, the veteran guy that maybe they can look up to, because he's going to line up outside, inside just as much as, just as much as they are. So, man, it's a big. I think the drop stuff could probably be cleaned up, but other than that, he's a factor, man, and I'm glad to have him back.
Yeah, me too. I think that about says it. And so I think him and Deal coming back is a big deal. And then you lose Fromm via the portal. Do they go out and get Jaleel Skinner, the former Miami tight end, who kind of reminds me of Rivaldo Fairweather as far as the athleticism, the ability to move? He visited this past weekend. Is he on pop watch? I think he might be. It seems like Auburn's the favorite for him. So he could be the guy after Rivaldo in 2025. So I think that plays out well. Keionte Scott told media he is moving from nickel/star to outside corner, which is what he was recruited as at the JUCO level. Moved inside to star out of necessity, and he's just really good at it. He's so rangy. That's why this move surprises me a little bit. And Dale Dapprich and I kind of debated this a little bit, what would be better, and I thought it would be better to keep him inside. He's moving outside to corner, and he's going to play that in the bowl game as well as going into spring, it sounds like. So I think that's interesting, because if you go out and get a guy like AJ Harris, the former 5-star corner that is in the portal, he visited this past weekend, the former Georgia Bulldog, he starts. Keionte starts. And it's like, are you telling me Kane Lee's not going to start next year? If that's the case, it's just kind of a weird thing that I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see how it plays out. And I also wonder if this is possibly just something for the bowl game, like something that you just kind of need him to play outside, and he's going to practice there and play there, because he was like a disruptor, even like when he would rush the passer. You know what I mean? Like he made plays in the backfield.
I just feel like you limit him by putting him next to a sideline.
Yeah, you take away. The further you get him away from the ball, like I just kind of feel like that just sort of diminishes all the different things that he can do. But AJ Harris, there's been talk that he could possibly play some safety. So maybe that's not necessarily you're going to.
Yeah, maybe it's not related. Yeah,
maybe it's not 100% related. I mean, but still, he's going to be good wherever he plays. He's going to be good wherever he plays. And hey, if it doesn't work out, he can always move back to nickel. So where we know he can play and we know he's a stud. So I do kind of like the idea. Keionte Lee's, I feel like a little bit bigger, a little bit longer guy. And if he's your nickel, opposite AJ Harris, maybe you got AJ Harris on one side and you got Scott on the other, and then you got a bigger, possibly a little bit more physical guy at nickel. Maybe that could work. We got options. That's what I like to see is if you sign AJ Harris, which I think you will, you should have some options and very, very good options. So that should be fun. The defensive back class, the corner room, is going to be one of the stronger groups on the team.
I agree. There's so many guys that could play corner. We were like, okay, they could be special. I'm hearing good things about Sylvester Smith. So do they feel good about him potentially pushing somebody for a starting job? Zion Puckett's coming back. There's a lot of mixed feelings about that. And then Donovan Kaufman and Caleb Wooden. Those are guys that have played in multiple spots back there. So we'll see. Are they safeties? Are they stars? Are they both? We'll see. And then, KJ Bolden loves Keionte Scott. Is that part of the argument for, giving Keionte whatever he wants? Who knows? But if you get KJ Bolden, I think a lot of this makes a lot more sense. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it gives you just another immediate impact guy at a position of need. That's probably safety. That deep safety is probably the one that you're hoping you can get KJ to come in and play right away.
Yeah, and if they don't get KJ, I wonder if they go to the portal or not, or do they feel good about Zion Puckett back there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in time. If you don't land a guy like KJ, you got to feel like that frees up a lot of NIL opportunity to go, possibly pick up a player in the portal or whatever, reallocate.
Yeah, right. Okay, early signing day is tomorrow. Charlie 5. It's like it's Christmas Eve. Let's discuss what Auburn could potentially pull off on early signing day in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at the Auburn Med Aesthetic. Guys, we've all been there. It's the day before a gift, or maybe it's the week of Christmas. And you're like, I haven't gotten my loved one enough. Head over to auburnmedaesthetics.com. Get a free gift card. They can use it for Botox, facials, laser treatments. Whatever it is, it's sure to make your wife, girlfriend, significant other feel incredible. And they're going to love meeting with Dr. Nancy Herring and her master esthetician, Circe Kelly. They've got a ton of experience in the med spa industry. And look, they also do Botox if you're into that. There you go. Botox could totally be in play. So go over to Auburn Med Aesthetics for the full service med spa serving Auburn. Gift card purchases are easy at auburnmedaesthetics.com, or stop by and see them in person on East Glen Avenue across from Chappie's. Remember, Auburn Med Aesthetics is perfect for last minute gift cards. Guys, we promise she will love it. Final few minutes with Charlie 5, Auburn message board legend himself. Early signing day is tomorrow. Which player that's on Flip Watch, and that could be Amaris Williams, it could be KJ Bolden, it could be LJ McCray, it could be Ryan Williams, if you want to put him in this conversation, whoever it is, which player on Flip Watch are you most excited to see and hear from?
I'm sorry. I'm still caught up on Bro Talks. I kind of want to check that out when we get done with this. I got to figure out what that is.
If you want to buy Charlie, if you love the show and you want to support Charlie 5, go to auburnmetaesthetics.com and get Charlie 5 a gift card.
Bro Talks. Let's go. Who am I most excited to see out of the possible flips that are out there? In an Auburn uniform, obviously it'd be probably Ryan Williams for multiple reasons, just because of, I think, the impact that would mean, the statement that would say, and then just how explosive he is. But like, I got a feeling this Amaris Williams cat is going to be unreal. Like, I really do. I've watched his film. I mean, he is mega athletic and he's already big. I mean, you're looking at a guy, if you just land him, you're settling for a top 100 player. Like, we were sad we weren't able to flip Jeremiah Beeman from wherever he is, wherever he's from up in Birmingham. He's like 100 spots higher than him in a lot of the rankings. Like, what a consolation prize, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he could be an explosive. I mean, that could be your Marcus. That could be your Marcus Harris eventually. I mean, that to me, that's kind of the same type of player, same size wise a little bit. I think this guy's probably more athletic than Marcus Harris. So that's probably the one that I think could possibly be, I don't know, the biggest for sure, the biggest defensive star. But I mean, obviously, man, the impact that Ryan Williams would make around.
Do you think Ryan Williams signs tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess you're right. We're talking about tomorrow. I know he's saying he's going to be late, so I guess that doesn't really count yet. I guess he could always flip tomorrow and then sign later if that's what he wanted to do. But I guess of the guys that go in tomorrow, for sure, Amaris is the one that. Amaris.
I wanted to sign tomorrow. I just want the drama to be over. I just want to either get hurt really bad or be really happy.
Yeah, and here's something. This is a sidetrack. This is something just I hear a lot. Okay, and it's Auburn fans, and I get why you say it. It's things like, I don't see it happening. There's no way it could happen. I won't believe it till I see it. Stuff like that. And what you're doing is you're trying to trick yourself that if you believe it won't happen, then it won't hurt. That it won't hurt, but it still hurts. It still hurts. So you're not fooling anybody, So just, bug till the wheels fall off.
And it's okay if it hurts. Bugging leads to happiness and joy, and also leads to pain. That's just part of it.
There's no point in lying to yourself. You can't fool me. I know it's still going to hurt you. I know you believe it. I know you believe it's going to happen. There's no way you can fool me that you don't think that you're not excited to think that it could possibly happen. So no, yeah. I mean,
I'm going to take Ryan Williams out of this. So the four guys that seem like the most flippable tomorrow.
KJ, LJ, Amaris. Who's the fourth?
I'll put Cohen Eccles in there just for the conversation. The former Texas A&M commit visited LSU last week. Sounds like that went well. So those four go from most likely to flip to least likely to flip in Auburn's direction.
If I had to guess, I'd say most likely would be Amaris Williams.
Okay.
Then I'd probably go KJ Bolden second.
Over Eccles?
Over Eccles right now.
Is that because you feel good about Bolden or not good about Eccles?
A little bit of both. And then I'd probably put Eccles fourth, honestly, and then put LJ at third. So I think that Eccles has sort of I really like him. I think he's a great player. But I think he's an interior lineman with demands that don't really line up with interior linemen. So
that makes sense.
But
he's also had the opportunity to commit here a million times, and he hasn't yet. So I think that's worth pointing out too.
Sure, trying to find. I mean, I get it. Hey, this could be the time you're the most your brand is the most maximized it could possibly get. Like, this is go get it while you can. I'm not sure that the value's there currently for what he's asking, and he doesn't actually sign until Friday, which is his birthday. So he's not even gonna pull anything more than likely to tomorrow. So, but that's how I'd rank it. I would go Amaris, KJ, LJ, and then LJ McCray, the 5-star from that's committed to Florida, and then Eccles. So that you're talking, there's a real, I mean,
where's Ryan Williams in those four?
I'd probably put him ahead. I think I'd probably put him ahead of Eccles.
Got it. So fourth out of the five.
Yeah, fourth out of the five. Here's the crazy thing. If you were to get all five of those, you more than likely are the number 2 class. Georgia has to lose a good bit to drop. They just have they have 28 commits, so they got a lot of points to spread around. But you're talking probably worst case somewhere around 6, and you got to. There's a realistic pathway to 2 if you land all these guys. And
it's a big if, though.
Sure. Oh yeah. I mean, I would expect, 3 out of 5 would be huge. 3 out of those 5.
Which one would make you cry the most?
Cry the most?
Yeah, like a good, happy cry.
Talking about after tomorrow, or just possibly at the end of this whole thing? Ryan,
just in general.
Ryan Williams would make me would bring me tears. Would bring me to tears. It would mean a lot. It would mean a lot. It would be a lot of years of I guess like trolls, and a lot of years of like losing dudes late to Alabama. And I feel like this, we can call it even. If this happens, we can call this one even. So he would be great. But then, all 4 are unbelievable. All 5 are unbelievable players. So you get any 2 or 3 of those 5, and you should be very, very happy.
Any concern about Perry Thompson flipping back to Alabama?
I don't have any.
I
had a small scare where I lost faith. I got a little aggravated, not this past weekend, but the weekend prior. But I'm over it. And several people have told me that I'm not ever allowed to cheer for Perry Thompson when he does eventually sign with Auburn, because I did have a meltdown. But I don't have any worries about him at all.
What caused that meltdown, Charlie 5?
Bad information. Honestly, bad information from one of the Alabama websites, and got shot down pretty quick. And I felt pretty silly about it.
Yeah, you doubted the bug a little bit.
I did. I stopped bugging for
that's okay
for a fraction of a second, and I will hold myself accountable.
Happen when the bug stops. Bad things happen.
When he scores 6 touchdowns next year, I need to make sure everybody lets me know that you
doubted him. You doubted his loyalty.
I gave up the bug for a little while, and I'm not allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't think you deserve to be happy all the time because of it now. That's okay.
Nope.
Charlie 5, how can people check out everything you've got going on, bud?
Absolutely. Find me on Twitter at _Charlie_5 and the Locked On Auburn Discord every single day. The AuburnLive.com corner message board, or Tuesday and Thursdays. The Top Button Podcast.
Let's go. Yeah, you can find the Top Button Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or on the Auburn Daily YouTube page. Find all my written work at auburndaily.com, and we'll see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.